Today, I'm going to give some tips for trans and non-binary people in regards to fashion, styling, and shopping. I want to cover how to find your style, where to shop, the experience of shopping itself, and why this is so important for trans and non-binary people like myself. Maybe like me, you realize that wearing the men's clothes just doesn't work. You feel weird, you're uncomfortable, getting dressed and shopping isn't fun. But then you tried on a crop top for the first time or a skirt for the first time and you're like, whoa, this feels better. This isn't a how to find your style guide. When you're trans or non-binary, finding your style isn't just about finding something cool and trendy to wear or looking better for photos, which of course is perfectly valid. But for us, it's really about who we are on the inside. With studying filmmaking, one thing we learned was that the clothes a character wears is an extension of their personality. Sometimes when how you know you are on the inside doesn't match what you look like, it can be really difficult. For me, this was a slow, gradual process. Don't think this will come easy. But here are some tips, hopefully help you and make it a little easier than it was for me. Hi, it's Andrea editing here in the future. If you want to jump around to specific parts, feel free to use the timestamps I've created below. Finding your style can be really hard. There's a whole lot of eras and ranges to choose from. I recommend using Pinterest. Make a few boards. I like the names cool jackets, cool coats, cool sandals, cool heels, and just picking fashion things in general that you are drawn to. Remaking your wardrobe can be really scary. You're starting from scratch. It's not just getting a few cool new pieces for a different season. So I'd start simple. Start with t-shirts, crop tops for me, maybe a skirt, and start with neutral colors because they're easy to combine. Or if you're not a fan of black and white, go with a color you really love, say red or orange. Start there. Then, little by little, build it out. It doesn't matter how much it costs or if you actually would wear it or if it's maybe not the right clothing for the weather you're in. Then Pinterest will start suggesting other things and little by little an aesthetic will start to form. It's a really great way to start building your look. I like Pinterest because it's just me and my world of fashion. I will say that Instagram is really good for finding inspiration as long as you make sure to look at it as clothes and not compare yourself to them. So once you found some inspiration on Pinterest, on Instagram, maybe a magazine, I love the show The Bold Type. I think they have some great styles there. Once you find a style that works for you, then you can go to the store. It's tempting to shop online. You're at home, you're by yourself, no one's looking at you. I did this and I found it really frustrating because I didn't know my sizes. I was entering a whole new sizing system that was different and I got some heels and they were the wrong size and it was really frustrating because I felt like, what if I'm the wrong size for these clothes? So I recommend going in person. There's no shipping, there's no waiting, there's no anxiety. What if, a sibling or a parent looks at your package? There was a lot of anxiety there for sure. Where should you shop? I'd recommend going to thrift stores, boutiques, organic, eco-friendly places when possible. Those can be pretty expensive. So thrift stores that are on the cheaper end are pretty great too. In this case, they don't always have your size, which can be really frustrating, especially when you're still figuring out what your size even is. In that case, although fast fashion is horrible for the environment, I know, in the beginning, if you're just getting simple things, and just barely getting into it and maybe don't have a lot of money to spend, it can be helpful to go to a store, get a crop top for the first time, maybe realize it doesn't fit and get a bigger one, the exact same one that you liked, and you don't have to worry about starting your search again. When you're actually looking for clothes, I think what's most important is finding stuff that makes you feel personally good. First time, bring a friend. I went with a friend the first time, she was really helpful. I was getting some heels, I pretended they were for her, it was really great, and after that I was able to go by myself. Shopping in person can be scary, but at least you can try things on and know immediately if they fit you or not. That is one thing I want to warn about when you're getting into a new sizing system like women's. Measuring yourself and looking at the measurements can be really detrimental because most people don't have the same proportions that clothes dictate. So I'd recommend feeling what's comfortable, get an idea of what your size is, but don't be hung up if you're not the exact measurements. The key here is to not buy too much stuff that you're not going to use. And when you're shopping, remember, find something that you like, that's cute, that fits you well, something that makes you feel good, and combines with 3 to 5 different other items you already have. Another note, I've definitely bought things that I didn't like or didn't end up using. When you're kind of remaking everything, it can be easy to make this mistake, but I do my best to avoid it. It can be scary, but people who sell you stuff are surprisingly nice. They don't really care what you look like, who you are, anything. They just want to help you have a good experience in California and Peru. That's a pretty broad range. In Peru, there was one person who kicked me out, but it was very rare. Also, back then, I wore a beard, so I think that may have confused people more. Also, it's a very conservative culture, so don't worry about people judging you. They generally just want to help you find something that looks nice. And if someone's mean, don't go back to that store. It's their loss, not yours. So go in person. For me, wearing this clothes isn't about looking pretty when I go out. It's all the time. When I'm at home, when I'm not at home, when I go to the grocery store. 90% of my clothes is women's. Obviously, wearing clothes from a different section, a different gender, doesn't change who you are as a person. You can check out this video here if you want to get into that a little more. For me, clothing was a really big, important part. Growing up, I was really skinny, still really skinny. I would often get things that were too big because I was too afraid to admit I was smaller. I didn't like getting dressed, and I was always afraid someone would say I was too skinny or not strong enough. I slowly began to wear things that were my size. Putting a crop top or a skirt for the first time really helped me feel like myself. If something like fashion can help you be yourself, I hope you take the risk to go to the store, maybe with some friends the first few times, find some things you like, and see how you feel. Because when I put on heels and a skirt and a mini skirt and I walk around downtown, I'm confident in a way I never was before. My name is Andrea Pimentel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any other tips, please leave them below, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.